was because when Museveni invited me back from my happy life in America, back to Uganda after 26 years, it was a challenge. But I'm happy that there are no regrets either on his side or on mine that I indeed came back. Probably a highlight of my career, especially this is for the youth. Hard work is very rewarding, because in 2014 in Copenhagen, Denmark, there is an association I belong to, or my institute belongs to, and that association is called World Association of Industrial Technological Research Organizations, WITRO. It's been on 18th October, 18th September, the 24 boys and girls had things happening. We have a high level of startups, but their mortality rate is high also. What we need is to turn these problems into opportunities. A lot of thinkers have talked a lot about that point, and I'm saying that yes, there are significant opportunities in our land, but these opportunities are laden with challenges. Let's turn these challenges into opportunities. And so, even the Uganda Industrial Research Institute, which I found as a dead institution, literally a dead institution. One time I was asking myself, how sane am I to accept this challenge? So there's no way I'm going to get this thing working. But in a few short years, less than 10 years, I was able to turn it around into a center of excellence. And I got President Uhuru Kenyatta to give me the accolades himself. Now, when you are recognized by a president of a different country, you know you have done something right. And so, because when I say Museveni gave me a medal, they said, that's because you went to the same school. But Uhuru, I never met before. So, but that is what I am here to deliver to the youth, that hard work pays. Real live examples at pineapples in the southwestern part. I was making wine, and his processing room is that grass hut you see on top. His finished inventory was kept in his bedroom. We worked with him, and in 2015, the president officiated at launching that new wine factory in that same area. It is a success story. It can be done. Hard work pays. Those of you from Uganda know about Lira and how much they produce in terms of peanuts. URI has built that facility as part of its virtual incubation program. Hard work. Ananturia, who was my classmate at A level, and when I told him I'd come back to Uganda, he said, if you have gone to Uganda, I'm coming. He came and developed a vaccine, was at hand to do the honors.
Thank you.
What we have to avoid are bridges to nowhere. Kids, once you start projects, work on them to the bitter end. Governments are the only ones that do this kind of work of bridges, and don't fall for that. This metaphor I got out of Cape Town. There is a tourist attraction, but it was not intended to be a tourist attraction. It was supposed to be a bridge which stopped mid-air. We have to slow down from this practice of forever chasing Big Brother. We cannot catch him. So what do? Turn our problems into opportunities and do what we have to do to industrialize and to exploit the opportunities that are here. From Kofi Annan, the knowledge required to create wealth is not lacking. What is lacking in sub-Saharan Africa is the will to turn this knowledge into practical innovations. Let us keep going.
Thank you very much. Wise words from a man who's done the journey. Thank you again for sharing that experience. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the intention of this panel. We had the young people present their ideas, but we now bring you also people who have resources and also stories to share with you. So we will now move to the probably just as exciting part of this session, where you have an opportunity to pose your questions and seek clarifications from this eminent panel. But I will start a ball rolling by maybe getting some clarifications or points in, especially to Tony, because you are giving grants, and I'm sure every day you receive hundreds and thousands of opportunities. But as a lot of the agripreneurs here will tell you, after all of that is done, they need finance. So what is your institution or your group doing to help either provide the finance or to steer the agripreneur to be able to access finance?
Can you hear me? Thank you. I think one of the biggest things, and if you looked at provide business development services. So in addition to being a commercial attorney, in my past I've worked in corporate finance and a little bit in private equity. Understanding how to present one's business on paper and how to articulate that business in person is a
either work together innovatively to have, I think, a kind of strategic partnership.
Okay.
So I think, yeah.
All right, thank you. The next question is the gentleman in the white shirt in there. Please put your microphone. Okay, good.
Thank you. My name is Akuafotvgh. I manage Churat, a leading agribusiness incubator in Africa, based in Uganda. My question actually goes to the moderator regarding Africa Development Bank. Oftentimes we get involved in this kind of conferences and seminars where we share a lot, and a lot of us who come through share what we're doing, just like we've been doing the whole day. What happens is we rarely have government part of these meetings, but when African Development Bank or quite a big number of the development partners come to our different countries to roll out programs, they go to roll these programs out through government. And government doesn't know the players who are experienced and knowledgeable in actually getting these programs going. It keeps us, the people on the ground who execute programs, in a rather awkward situation. Just to give an example, World Bank comes to fund an incubation program in the country, and despite the fact that
I asked them to cite just one of the key partners they have, the one without who they could not succeed in the initiative. Who will it be, and what?
Because they've harvested and sold. How did you go about tackling adoption risk and ability to pay? And just a side question to Michael. I don't know if there's any strategy why there's no African university involved in any of your programs, because I seem to see Strathmore and Regas. And I think most of the people here are alumni of African universities and maybe, you know, on the ground experience. Is there any particular reason why we've not seen any African?
That fresh in your mind, we were a startup in developing an accelerator. So we went to a laundry list of stakeholders. Tenth year now, and we, for the last 4 years, have served in that capacity, and we worked with AGCO. AGCO had just launched their future farm in Zambia, and we were aware of it from 2014. And what we thought of was, you don't want an institution like that, and I spent $30 million or something like that, to be a white elephant. And that happens at different times. If people don't know about the facility and they don't know about what can be done there, they don't attend. So they gave us the venue without paying for it, and that was a big plus to get started. I have them at 50%. The other person who at 50% is actually sitting to my right. of 1,000, 2,000 successful entrepreneurs around the continent. That will only come through partnership with our continental institutions.
Thank you. Ellie?
Okay, I've got it now. I've got 3 questions. There's one on as I already indicated,
Fish, you give them feed, you also provide the facility for them to grow, and when they finish growing, you just take the fish off them and remove your input and let them have the profit, so to say, or you share the profit one way or the other. But the point is, the facility is yours, the fish is yours, the feeding is yours. But that's what you call contract farming, or I just needed a clarification on that. Thank you. One last question, so that we can give the panel, also time to react. Yes, the gentleman reacts. Yes, the gentleman, put your hand up.
Okay, thank you. My name is Abraham from Ethiopia. So my company works with smallholder farmers by providing mechanization and input service. My question and appreciation goes to Michael. I have a privilege to attend one of the GAP sessions in Kenya, and it's designed to address agripreneurs. And my question is, going in your side, Michael, to connect the users of the GAP fellow with investors or financiers and other universities or institutions to make them in a better position. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get a response from the panel, and we'll start with the professor, and then we move down the line as we go along.
Earlier on, there was a question about partnership. The lady out there. Sorry. What was your question again?
Of the institution, and what was the strategy to secure the partnership with this partner?
That's right. Of course, we have to, and there are those who are our beneficiaries. They talk a lot, but they have no idea what they are talking about. Then you have those who have neither. They are neither enthusiastic, nor are they knowledgeable. What you want is a combination of both. It doesn't matter whether it's a benefactor or a beneficiary. For the beneficiary, if they're enthusiastic, they can be trained to know more about the idea that they are espousing. But that's usually and those who understand why they don't manage. And so the decisions on whether I get funding rests with some economists and other, maybe even lawyers, maybe other, every priorities, or the country's priorities, not even government priorities. What does the country need? So, how do you make sure skills are relevant? That's a very tough one. And he comes to our workshop, which is not really too fancy, and they are looking at an engine for the first time. But the book knowledge is first class. As a grant of $30 million to build a similar machining and manufacturing classroom orientation. Attached that is a production facility. Together, they produce the technician you need.
Okay.
Agribusiness and youth, it really depends heavily on the program design. Again, you want a youth who is not single dimension in their orientation towards business. It's a big mistake we make. An economist believes is the answer to industry. Scientists believe the same way. You must, industry
and take it to the private sector. So the way it works in the Netherlands is that we do not have core funding for our research institutes. Our research institutes, it's 100% contract farming. So